Paul Daner, Mark Shalafu, from listener questions to some running gags. Insider stories, ambush light, that dad life and respect for flags. Kick off the weekend, alright? It's the Growler Friday Show, it's Who Dey Light.
All right, welcome to the latest edition of Who Dey Light. Paul Daner Jr. here with Mark Shalafu on a Friday morning, kicking off your weekend. How we doing, Mark?
I'm doing pretty good. What flag are you flying today? I know we're not quite in a back-to-school season yet, but...
No, we're not. It's a little bit of an in-between time. It's pretty free to do whatever you want. The Oakley flag is kind of still flying. What happens this time of year as camp happens is that I don't get to it. I just don't. I know, and I should never let that fall down my priority list, but the Oakley flag is still solid from the St. Cecilia Festival, which we're all still kind of on a high about, you know, honestly, after Blessed Union of Souls absolutely ripped it on Friday night. Big fun all weekend. So it's still kind of out there. I couldn't take it down yet. Haven't had the time to. So
I feel like Blessed Union should have been the Saturday night. Like, how does a Saturday night band follow that?
Maybe there's different pricing involved with their Friday. I don't know. All I know was those of us that were there had the time of our lives. I'll tell you that much. Big night. If that flag gets some extra run from it, that was quite the festival. There's no question. How are you hanging in there?
I am hanging in. That's the important thing right now. Fighting through a summer cold, the rare summer cold. That's the fun thing about having kids going to birthday parties at trampoline parks in the middle of the summer. They will get sick and spread that to the family, which is a good time. It's a good back to school reminder of what's coming down the pipeline.
Where everyone's soon going to be sick. I decided, this episode of Who Dey Light, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm talked out. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing from me at this point. Like, there are all these camp recaps we've been doing. I've espoused many different things. I feel like, how many times can I talk about how exciting the defense has been and some of the things that they've been doing? Like, there are fun trends and threads that are starting to show up throughout all these, but it's just a lot of Jay and I talking. And then we had our regular PD and J. There's just a lot of content up. So I'm like, look, y'all's show. Okay. I'm here to take questions this show. I'm here for you guys. If you want to go back and get more of our specific points, make sure you check out all of the camp reports. They're all up on the YouTube page and in the feed. A lot of good highlights on there. I got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out to Joe Mock, who sent this on X, where he has his son apparently loved our camp reports last year. This is last year when Jay had a very bad sunburn with the baby. And then this year, guess what? Son Chase, still into it, still standing very close to the television, taking in our camp reports. Shout out to the entire family and to young Growl Pal Chase, who is as close as you can get to check out. I think he's looking at that Shamar Stewart rep where he teleported around Orlando Brown yesterday that we were talking about on day 7's camp report. So shout out to Joe and Chase for being loyal Growl Pals and enjoying the camp reports.
You and Jay have replaced. Yeah, you guys have replaced Miss Rachel now. Even the kids can enjoy that. We talked about like getting our version of it. We don't need it. The kids just enjoy watching the camp reports. So turn it on for your toddlers. You don't need
It's a new brand of fan. Fans are so much more intelligent now. They start younger. Next thing you know, he's going to be talking about strike techniques at his second birthday. And I look forward to that. I hope this is a good show, Mark, because I did have an invitation from a Growl Pal to be the 4th in their golf outing this morning, and you hopped into the email and said, no, he's not. He has to do a show, and you wouldn't even let me skip it.
Yeah.
So I hope you're going to bring it.
Yeah. You know what? The people demand more content from you. You're not doing enough. You can't go play golf on a day off with a bunch of
It would have been a great
Pals.
day, too. Oh, it would have been a great day to go play some golf with the Growl Pals. I was in. Thank you for the invite. Keep them coming. I'll be your 4th.
Someday.
Okay?
Someday he will be the 4th.
If Mark will let me.
Yeah. We'll see if you know what? Maybe we'll just do the show very early from the course, and then you can go do an 18-hole show for the 3 Growl Pals that you were going to golf with, as they pepper you with questions.
Maybe I think some of the best conversations and really game-changing thoughts happen over that 19th hole beer, I feel like, too. So I feel maybe that's the time where you just flip the cameras on and let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a way more fun show after you've been drinking for 18 holes and then get another few in you for the recording.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Maybe we should do that next time.
I'm here for it. I do want to remind everybody to go make sure you're hanging out down at BetMGM and Tom's Watch Bar down at the Banks. We're going to be down there, our exclusive home of all of our live shows coming your way, the kickoff show, our pre-game shows that we do, that where we're giving away Bengals tickets at every single live show this year. So make sure you start coming down to those. But before you do, we're just giving you money here. So if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code Growler in all caps. You'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. You download the app, you sign up using the bonus code Growler. You know how to do it by now. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You will receive the same bet amount up to $1,500 in a bonus bet if it loses. So just make sure you use the bonus code Growler when you sign up. And I think you know the strategy right now has got to be just like, if the Reds are about to be swept, potentially, just bet on them to win. They are unsweepable at this point. That's your bet.
Jay always likes to just fade the Rockies, I guess. That was always his move for a while. And I feel like this is the safer one. You don't want to see the Reds drop a couple games, but like that Dodgers series, that was a pretty tough last one. You're going against Ohtani. You don't feel great about that, and they still pull it off. So that's definitely where you throw your money.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you're checking out Power Stacks. They did a late night, the Power Stacks group chat that I'm in was firing off late night. They did a late night trade deadline after party last night. That episode is up this morning. I'm sure it was live. Brian and Charlie talking about all the Reds deals and moves. So make sure you check that out on the YouTube page and subscribe and all of that stuff to Power Stacks. Great stuff over there. All right. What do you got for story of the week here?
Well, we're very concerned about the vibes during camp.
Always.
Last season I mocked it and it turned into be a bigger thing. It seems like the vibes are great so far. It seems like guys are fired up. They seem happy. I am knocking on every piece of wood that I can find right now because everybody's for the most part pretty healthy. Every national report, like you hear too about the team, it's like, this is the first time that T and Jamar and Joe Burrow have been this healthy. And they just keep belaboring that point over and over. It does feel kind of jinxy at this point. So I'm trying to knock on as much wood as I can. But I don't know if you're getting the same feeling, but it seems like the vibes are pretty high right now.
I would agree. I think, the interesting thing is the offensive players having real excitement about what's happening on defense, except for maybe Jamar, who I'm pretty sure wants to fight everyone in the secondary right now.
Which is what you want. You want a little bit of that energy. That's good.
But energy. But there's a respect for it. It's like, okay, they're getting wins, which we didn't necessarily anticipate. But I think the energy of the defense, it really is something that everyone's kind of talking about. And what they were able to do over that first week, I think had people excited, had vibes high. They like that the offense wins some and the defense wins some. And the fact that it's been about, 70-30, 60-40 defense at this point is encouraging because the offense is going to be good. And so I think that has brought the vibes up. Someone was talking to me yesterday about how cool the energy is the moment they walk in the building in the morning. And I think this is a bit of a symptom of the morning practices is guys show up amped. Like they show up, like the music is blaring, people are showing up, they can't wait to get in and they're ready to go knowing that they're going to be hitting the field soon and getting after it. Like people show up excited about coming to work and the energy and excitement is really high first thing in the morning. And I think everybody feels like that's been great for everybody, and so that's helped the vibes. And then I think what's happened at these practices with the defense rising up has certainly helped make everybody believe, hey, this might be different. I mean, if you're Joe Burrow and I don't know if you listened to his press conference the other day, but him talking about, man, all these young players on defense are really stepping up. It's fun to watch. It's really exciting for all of us. He just went through a pretty hard season. okay, of like
Yes.
watching the defense not ever have anyone making a play. So I'm going to guess he doesn't mind a few of his passes getting knocked down. A great play by Dimitri Snight, a Dax Hill interception is kind of just what the doctor ordered probably for Joe Burrow. It almost makes you wonder if he's purposely trying to give them some passes.
Yeah.
To get their confidence going. Like, hey, I intercepted Joe Burrow.
Like, good job, buddy. Give you the
so
pat on
bad.
the back.
Yeah, wow.
You did it,
I
big
never
guy.
thought you'd get to that one. You are elite.
You could play in this league. It does feel like the bar is a little bit lower for the defense, that when they do have a good day, everybody's just blown away because of last season. And it's like, wow, this defense might actually not be terrible. I think that was a direct quote from you guys on one of the walkouts.
Yeah.
It's like, this defense might not be trash. That is kind of what we need.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
average is in play? That's all I'm saying. I feel like average is in play right now.
And that makes this a good team because of how awesome that offense is supposed to be and probably will be. But do you feel like a lot of the quotes that I'm reading, whether it's Joe Burrow or some of the guys on the defense, it just feels like Lou Anarumo is taking a lot of strays during camp time.
Oh.
It's a lot of like Joe Burrow. I haven't seen the energy on this defense like this for a while. And, you defensive guys that are like, it's amazing what you can do. And you don't have to do all the pre-snap stuff and, all the thinking and this and that. They're not coming out directly and throwing it on Lou, but it does feel like it's just under the surface there a lot.
Oh, I mean, he's been catching as many strays as possible since the moment he was let go, essentially. I mean, it's hard not to hear a conversation about things Al Golden is doing well without hearing them being directly contradictory to things Lou Anarumo was doing. And I just think, you have a lot of players that just needed a clean slate and a fresh start. And so they're really invigorated by the fresh start. And the fresh start makes you think about what you didn't like about the old stuff. And that was, Lou and them, it all soured. And so, yeah, he was scapegoated. He has been scapegoated, and there are no shortage of strays. But I think that's also the nature of any team that is trying to fix something that was a problem. It's like, what was considered the problem? And everyone's going to talk about how that's better now.
Right.
That doesn't mean, because guess what? The problem still could be those people who are launching those strays. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
The problem still could be that the players aren't good enough, and they'll be the ones catching strays next year at this time when they have to change out this player, that player, or the other. And so it's just always the kind of the theme of the season is always the under the surface strays towards whoever was scapegoated from last year. In this case, that was Lou.
Yeah, it does feel a lot easier to go there rather than, we're going to need to keep seeing some of this improvement from DJ Turner and Myles Murphy and these guys. Who knows what we're going to be? At least now they can just have that confidence boost going into the season. And even like the only point of a vibes killer that's still left out there is the Trey Hendrickson stuff. But that seems like it's in a much better spot too. We kind of know where it's going to finish up. He's at least around now trying to help some of those younger guys. And honestly, does he need the reps right now? Like, give those to the younger guys. They probably need it a little bit more anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point you want Trey to feel like he's in football shape, but he doesn't need the reps. The young guys need his reps. If Trey was signed to a big extension, happy and healthy, I would still want him standing on the side right now for the majority of practice. I want to see Myles Murphy. I want to see Shamar Stewart. I want to see Joseph Osai. I want to see those guys with the number ones going against Orlando Brown and going against Amarius Mims. And I want to see them every day. I don't need to see Trey Hendrickson, who has 35 sacks in the last 2 years. And so, and you know what, kind of under the radar thing that Trey said the other day that got washed away in just the Trey show that happens was him basically being like, look, we did figure out that I'm not going to have to play this year on the contract. Like, that was the thing, the threat of I'm not playing on this. I'll sit out because I'm not playing on this current contract. Okay. Everyone now is admitting that that's not going to happen. He's going to get more money. It's just a matter of if he wants to take it or however the guarantee, like all of that stuff feels very settled. So Trey Hendrickson's playing. Now they may have arguments over these guarantees or whatever, but I don't think it's taking him. it's just you're right. It's what I wrote this week. You can go check that column out now. It's the inevitability of what this all feels like right now, which brings me to I want to drop some appreciation to Andrew on X, who did send this submission in of Treywatch with the full Baywatch outfit with the AI. I like when people just throw together an AI and just come up with an idea and make it happen. Like, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. I don't know if it's going to be regular, but I enjoyed it, and I wanted to make sure it got some love for the submission that was sent in on X. Certainly considered, but for right now, I think Trays of Our Lives is going to continue to be our regular entry point into all things Trey Hendrickson contract.
I do like the idea, though, that of Treywatch, that all you're going to see from Trey right now is just him moving in slow motion anyway, which is very much a Baywatch thing. So I'm on board with Treywatch for that. I like the effort. And you know what? If we get a better show submission, maybe Trays of Our Lives could get knocked off someday, but not yet. We're not quite there.
That's a hard one to knock off. I mean, Trey and Katie.
Yeah, that
that's going to be
luck.
really, really hard to top that submission. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, even though like what we're hearing from Trey Hendrickson this week, it does still like feel very much in that Trey Hendrickson playbook, you know, because the tone is so much different from when he was on the sideline talking crap about Zach Taylor and texts and, you know, disrespect and all that stuff. It feels very much like, you know, when he requested a trade and then it was fine, and just like he changes just on a dime like that.
Well, I just think it's the realization of, look, I'm going to be here. I'm playing this year. They're not trading me. I'm gonna play. I should be there and try to be a good teammate. I think that, you know, when Trey talks about I want to be a leader and I want to be a captain, you know, it's not what's happening now, and what has happened isn't exactly captain stuff. But I do think he means it. I think he wants to be a good teammate. I think that he legitimately does feel that way. Those things just can't coexist. Like, you can't fight for your money and have it be this public and antagonistic and then be like, but I want to be a captain. I want to be a leader. Be helpful to the young guys in your room. That's cool. I think there's an appreciation for him wanting to do that. It's impossible to make his current situation truly coexist that way. But nobody cares. Like, I think you can appreciate it. Whatever. They want you to go hunt the quarterback.
Yeah.
Be blackout Trey. Like, no one has a problem with being like, yeah, there's a guy on our team. He's a little unhinged on Sundays.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's okay. And everybody's okay with that. Go hunt the quarterback, collect your coin, do whatever leadership you want to do. They just want you to go out there and go hunt the quarterback. And so I don't think there's a problem with him with all the kind of other stuff that's associated with, as long as it ends up in the same place of him going blackout Trey on Sunday.
You don't need the C to be a leader on a team anyway. You know, like, you can set the tone in other ways. And that's what this team has some voices that are going to emerge on that defense and get the captain, right? But this team needs a psycho on the defensive line like that. That's just going to get after him. That's what this team needs, much more than a guy that can be a measured, calm voice of assurance in the locker room. We need the psycho. Right.
You need a psycho. Every good defense has a psycho.
Yes.
Every single one. That where the other team comes on the field and they're like, that guy's not right. I'm slightly concerned about what's going to happen out here. Every good defense has one of those. Okay.
Yeah.
From Ray Lewis to Mike Ditka to you name it, to, you know, Vontaze Burfict. And when the Bengals defense was humming in his early years, it was like, I don't know what's going to happen there. Right. Like, every defense kind of needs somebody like that. And I think, trying to be measured leader, I don't think it fits what the defense needs.
Right.
I think he should be crazier publicly.
Even your guy.
He's sending those messages to other offensive linemen.
Yes, and you know what? I want some of that psychoness to spread to the other edges. Like Myles Murphy, I liked what I saw from him in camp. Like, he kind of flashed a few times to me, and I was like getting excited about it. But then I see him in interviews. He's like a very, you know, thoughtful guy and stuff. I'm like, I need a little bit more psycho out of you so you can get these 10 sacks this year. You know, like, I just want a little bit more of that edge from him, because he does have the athletic traits.
Yeah, I'm writing. I know you'll find this hard to believe. I'm writing a Myles Murphy story. I'm trying to write the Myles Murphy story right now. And I think inevitably so much of the the conversation that's happening about him right now is about, the got that dog in him meme with the X-ray and the dog.
Yeah.
It's, what would the X-ray show here? Is it just, it's just empty? Is there a cat? Does he have that? Does he have that ability to channel some Trey? Because I think he wants it. I think he wants to be good, but I think you've got to have some next level of crazy inside of you to be good at that position. And I think might be is he too nice? Does he not have that drive? And everybody, there's a lot of people around him. Jerry Montgomery was telling me, defensive line coach, it's my job to get whatever dog is inside of him out. Okay, so whatever is in there, we're gonna get it out of him. And I think he's in a good place, but there's only one way to find out, and that's on Sundays, if he's got the ability to get that. But you're right. I mean, I think you need more of that in some of those guys. We got to talk about our guy, Eric Sztanyo, of course. You know him, you love him. Keller Williams Realty. He's got the #1 real estate YouTube channel in Cincinnati at Team Sztanyo. Great stuff on there. We like new development neighborhoods that you can get in on early. I saw you had a video up about that the other day. Great stuff on there. But he has the referral program going on right now. Of course, Growl Pals know. You buy a house, you buy it with Sztanyo. We've had many of those, especially we had another one recently, but also the referral program. So if you go to teamsztanyo.com/growler, you can go in there and send a referral, or if you close yourself, and then when they connect with you, you're in on a chance to win Bengals tickets. You get a hat. There's other ones. There's new hats. That's an old hat. There's some new cool ones. I wore the Sztanyo hat yesterday. I'm telling you,
it's a good hat.
Airiness on a hot day was very notable. Really liked. I wore it all day. I'm like, man, this is the most comfortable hat I have, and I have a lot of hats. So great hat. You get that, but if you also connect with your referral, or if you close, they'll send you a limited edition, the hat, and then you're into the raffle with the chance to win the tickets. Okay. And so every time 2 Growl Pal referrals close, or a Growl Pal themselves close, they'll hold a random drawing for a pair of Bengals tickets. And if you're in that small group, if you made a referral, your odds are great. Jay's in love with it, right? Your odds are great to win. You could be one of 2, 3, 4, hopefully more, but who knows? A small group of people that can win Bengals tickets. We know that Sztanyo is always trying to give back to the Growl Pals. So each closed deal counts as an entry. No purchase necessary to enter. Just if you know somebody who's looking to buy or sell, hit them up. info@teamsztanyo.com. That's SZTANYO. Our guy, of course.
He's our psycho.
Yeah,
he'll black out and get you guys a house, or get your house sold. That's what he'll do for you.
No doubt. Want to get some questions going?
Yeah, I also, if you also, it doesn't have to be somebody looking for a house. If you're going to buy a house for a parent, like your Tycen Anderson, that's a good move. Perfect time to call our guy, right? And make your own.
That's it. That's the move. You know what? Maybe this is the next move for Sztanyo. Is to go just connecting Bengals players with houses they can buy their parents, and he can give them the social team and the YouTube people that can all help them get it out there, make it look all nice. Just like Tycen did it the right way, and it felt genuine. It was genuine. You could tell. But if you just want it to look genuine, I bet you he could do it for you and get you the perfect house.
Yeah,
I love it.
We've got some Growl Pals that have businesses and stuff. If they're very, very successful in buying their parents' houses, he can put together a video for you in that process for sure. But speaking of Tycen Anderson, our first Growl Pal question is about Tycen. You ready for some questions?
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right. We got some good ones to the growlerpodcast@gmail.com. This first one is from Kate. She says, what are you seeing / hearing about Tycen Anderson, and what opportunities he could have this season other than special teams? Where is he on the secondary depth chart? Would love to see what he can do. She talked about that video that you just mentioned and how much that he liked, or she liked that. And Kate says she loves the podcast, the social media post. A good plug right there if you're not following us on TikTok and Instagram and X, all those. And she also gave a shout out to Power Stacks, to Charlie and Brian. So that's hitting all the Growl Pal bingo on that email right there.
That is. You're getting on early if you're going to hit all three. There's no question about that. Tycen Anderson's a good question. We've touched on him a little bit in some of the recaps. He's solidly in with that second wave at safety. Jordan Battle has been playing really well and been very vocal. Maybe a little too vocal for some offensive players, but he's been playing well and making plays. Geno Stone has looked fine. Of course, there's no tackling involved yet, so we'll see. But like those guys have been solid number one. I don't think that there's been any infiltration of the first team at all by Dejan and Tycen, but they've been solid. There's also not a lot of competition behind those guys. So I think he is solidified in there to be, maybe they're kind of fighting for who would be the number 3 safety, Tycen and Dejan, but it hasn't been spectacular, but it's been solid. A lot of that will be determined in the games and making plays in the games. And Tyson's made plays in games before, so we'll see if he can do that. But I think he's in a good place. I mean, to be a backup safety who's maybe the first one off if someone gets hurt, and to be a Pro Bowl level special teamer is a very important role. And, he's a leader. I could see a C on Tyson's chest this year as the special teams captain. That certainly seems very realistic. But, he's one of those guys that's a big important. He's a core part of the locker room.
I guess that's one name I haven't heard a lot about. You guys talked about Jordan Battle. I haven't heard much about Geno Stone yet, good or bad. I've heard some good stuff about Josh Newton and some good stuff. DJ Turner had himself a day finally after getting smoked for most of camp, but I haven't heard much about Geno Stone. I am still a little bit concerned about that since they didn't add any depth to that position and they tried to take some money away from him and all that kind of stuff. But you say that he's been fine so far?
Yeah, he's been fine. I mean, there's plays where you'd say, oh, you wish Geno would have gotten there sooner or couldn't make the play, but that happens. I think he's been solid enough. It's again, I think that his biggest thing is going to be tackling. And so right now, you're not seeing him tested in the area that he most needs to improve. So it'd be more of a judgment to make as you start getting through the season, but I think the best thing a guy like Tycen can do right now is make coaches talk about him and say, if Geno has hiccups, we'd be comfortable maybe moving to Tycen at some point and build some confidence in what you could be as a replacement if things do go sideways. I don't see a world, barring injury, that Tycen is taking over at either starter in any way.
I mean, do you feel like that's a vote of confidence from Al Golden in that group? The fact that they didn't add anybody else to it, like that he sized it up and was satisfied with that?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, and I say that saying that, well, also what was a pay cut for Geno, but I mean, it kind of goes both ways. But yeah, there was a vote of confidence there. I think they believe that he can be good enough. They need him to tackle better. Geno knows he needs to tackle better. And if he comes in to the year understanding that and feeling like this system fits him better, and that he's certainly been one to lob some under the radar strays at Lou Anarumo. I think he didn't feel like the system was the best for him last year, but system, no system, one-on-one in space, being unable to make tackles is what's going to get you benched if you're Geno Stone this year, more than anything. And so I think he needs to get turnovers. He needs to do all those things that he's kind of done well over the course of his career, but he needs to tackle better. And that's going to be a big part of his story.
Our next question here is from Lane. The question, first off, love the show. Loved Who Dey Dark. Found it very healing. That's what we're looking for. We want to be a very healing presence on your podcast feed. Second, I think I found the key to a Super Bowl run this year. But in order to get over the hump, we'll need some help during Super Bowl week. What are the chances that Jermaine Burton is this team's Stanley Wilson? And if he is, who will be in charge of keeping tabs on him during Super Bowl week? Keep up the good work.
I don't know that you want to. I don't know that you want to be this team's Stanley Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you can change the ending, which I don't know that makes you Stanley Wilson. I mean, it's the thing Stanley Wilson's known for. Okay. All due respect to Stanley Wilson as a football player. People talking about Icky and James Brooks first. Okay.
Yes.
But unless you're talking about what happened the night before the Super Bowl. So that's kind of, I for Jermaine's sake, I hope that he's not. But yeah, straighten him out. Yeah, he continues to do the right things. I'm, I feel like we give regular updates on Jermaine. He's a popular topic. I think because of the potential of what he could be, he does seem to make a play most every day. This will be decided in him knowing the playbook, running the right routes, being able to go out there in these preseason games where they're going to give him a ton of reps and do it right. Do it the way they're teaching it, know everything, be on top of his everything. So if he can do that, then he's going to have a role. They're going to find a way to use him if he can build that trust. But he's got to do that, and I don't think he's there totally yet. But he is doing all the right things right now, and so I think that continues to be the tone that you're hearing from everybody. And you do see him. You see him making plays in these practices. He had a really nice contested catch yesterday, kind of jumping over top of the defender, coming down with it, one that didn't look like he had any chance to catch. He's got one of those every day or two, and so they'll give those guys a chance. And he's earned himself a chance. He's got to go prove that he can execute a playbook for a full game, for 3 full games, really, in the preseason, though.
And if you're talking just babysitter, like, you get TJ Hushmanzada back there for that Super Bowl
there you
week
go.
And just babysit him there and keep an eye on his guy. But honestly, if this team's in the Super Bowl, he's probably done things right throughout the season and he's got things figured out. So probably doesn't need that babysitter help. It is exciting.
I would definitely be putting TJ on his side. There's no question. If the Bengals are in the Super Bowl, there is no doubt in my mind that I am absolutely putting a chaperone on Jermaine Burton with TJ Hoosh. Which, by the way, did you see Hoosh has a Cincy shirts line now?
He does. He's got a couple new Cincy shirts out there. A good
I like
official partnership.
What was it? The Hoosh Shine Shop?
The Jungle Shine.
Terrible day to be a towel.
Isn't
that what it said?
Yep.
I like that.
This is a good shirt.
One. That was a good one. Good to see Hoosh dropping in with our good friends over at Cincy Shirts.
I like that he's still kind of staying around the franchise in the city and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that they'll do some more stuff with him throughout the season. But this next question, it's another weapon for Joe Burrow question. I mean, you talk about how good Jermaine Burton's looked and Yoshi's been looking good. Like Joe Burrow's going to have some weapons this season. Noah Fant is another one in that offense now. And this question is, do you guys think with the Noah Fant signing that the Tanner Hudson era is done? And do you think Fant's role is going to be similar to Eric All? He's a better blocker and receiver threat than some of the guys they have. And I think he's going to be a really good addition.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be a really good addition. And I do think that he is the Tanner Hudson upgrade. If you're trying to view his position in that room, if the way you want to think of it is, Cam Grandy is kind of the Drew Sample backup, right? That's your more blocking tight end. So Cam Grandy is poor man's Drew Sample, if you will. He's there. And then Tanner Hudson was kind of very similar to Mike Gesicki in that you're getting almost nothing as a blocker. He's just a receiver. It's what he's meant to be. Well, Eric All was there as the kind of a little bit of the hybrid, but All was a great blocker, but also did give you something in the passing game. Fant is not a great blocker, but he gives you more than Gesicki and Hudson. So you're getting a little bit more of the all-purpose guy. What he really gives you, and I've been saying this everywhere, is a lot of this yards after catch that they like to scheme up. So here's my Noah Fant stat to back that up, what I've been saying. The last 2 years amongst qualifying tight ends, he is in the top 10 in the NFL in yak per reception, yards after catch per reception. But on top of that, if you just filter out to third downs, he is second in the NFL amongst tight ends in yak per reception. So big downs, big moments. I mentioned this the other day. If you watch a highlight of his catches last year, third downs, catching the ball short of the sticks, finding a way to get the first down, whether it's accelerating toward the sideline to the marker or just narrowly getting between two people to go get the yardage that you need. It was notable. And there he was, showed up second in the league in yards after catch on third downs and top 10 on all downs. That's a big part of, I think, what they want to try to bring out when you look at how they utilize that position and ways to keep him involved. I mean, it just gives them another option and more depth and more answers if injuries happen, for sure. But I think if you're looking at it, I do think it could signal the end of the Tanner Hudson era. I don't see them keeping 5 tight ends. They could, now that it looks like you're going to keep 3 running backs, because without Moss, you've got Brooks and P. Ryan and Chase Brown. It opens up an extra spot, which could be a receiver, could be an extra receiver, could be a 5th tight end if you wanted to go that way. And maybe you do if you just feel like you want to keep Tanner Hudson around as a Gesicki backup, which is fine. But I think that Fant does push Hudson on the bubble for sure.
What's also exciting about that is that it's, a decent free agent signing after the start of camp, which you don't see a lot of from this team. And that's exciting. But we did have a question about that. Do you think there's any chance that the Bengals do sign a guard, or is there any chance that if healthy, Seth McLaughlin could compete at guard, or is he just a center?
There is no signals that I've heard of signing a guard right now. Now, they could have something in the works under the radar that they're being quiet about. They could have some other plan. Right now, they sound like a team that is going forward with what they got. That can change with an injury. That can change with very poor play from somebody like Volson and Fairchild or Patrick, or being worse if he comes back and aggravates an injury or whatever. Like, there are things that could make them go the other direction. But for right now, I don't hear that. McLaughlin, I don't know if McLaughlin is going to be I think they just need to get him on the field. Like, they're just trying to get him back. He just got cleared. So they're going to try to work him in. I don't know that being a real option at guard is really on the table for him right now. I think they're just trying to see what he could do at all health-wise. And center is his natural spot. And, Matt Lee would be more prone to be kicking over to guard before Seth would, I would think. But I think that's too many steps forward right now to make you're not putting him in that conversation at all, because it's just get him out there, get him even involved in real team stuff before you even start having those conversations. But his natural position is center, so that's where that starts.
And he had his injury like pretty in the middle of the college season, or he was towards the end, something like that.
Yeah. The exact date, I don't know. It was during the season. Yeah. But he's cleared now, but it's going to still take time to get him anywhere near all the way back or real game shape.
That would be a lot to throw at a guy who's like a very, very good center to be like, all right, you're going to start learning guard anyway, just so you can get into this rotation a little bit. I don't love any of those answers. I kind of wish that there was a good free agent guard out there that they could just swoop in and grab.
Well, there are. There's guys. Will Hernandez, Brandon Sheriff. Whatever's happening with Sheriff, who knows, right?
How come no other teams are getting them if they're that good?
Right. Well, I know. Well, right. Well, Hernandez just got cleared, so he's coming off of an injury. Sheriff is he gonna retire? Is he have an injury thing that he's working back from? Is there, is it about money that he's just gonna wait it out until someone's willing to pay his price because they're desperate? There's a lot of different options he has the ability to take. He's made tons of money. He's 33. He doesn't have to do this anymore if he doesn't want to. He can do whatever he wants. He's got the ability to kick his feet up and be like, nah, I think Bermuda for me, right? Instead of the NFL. And good for you, right? But they're obviously, he is too good and too talented of a player in general to just be left out there if he didn't, have real worth or have something else significant going on. I think that's a waiting game happening there.
So it sounds like the guys that are out there have their own question marks anyway. There's not like a clear cut, not that Noah Fant is like a home run, but he was a bigger name for a tight end. And a guy that has some production and gives you some quality things.
They need a guy. I mean,
they
they need another guy. I opened up the recap yesterday with this. It's hard not to look at what's happening in the depth pieces here and be like, oh yeah, they're good. I mean, they need another guy, almost like another Cody Ford type who can play like a guard tackle hybrid with some skins on the wall. Now, do those guys exist?
Yeah.
You may have to make some moves to make whatever is available fit for you. But I think anything that could come in and add some depth to that room would make you feel better. Because whether we're talking about Jalen Rivers or Jackson Kirkland or Devin Cochran out here as or Cody Ford as your third tackle, it's just not great. And you already don't feel super about all the guard stuff. So it's hard just to look at that and be like, oh yeah, this is going to be fine. So they could use a player who could bring stability. They could have used that for months.
Yeah.
They could have used that in March. And I think that was the argument that we all made. How have you not addressed this? And they're still just going forward with what they have. And that includes the swing tackle position.
Yeah, that's a little bit alarming, I guess. I mean, because you look at the offensive line and Mims and Brown are just so good. But if anything, again, like I said earlier, just knocking on all the wood, if anything happened to one of those dudes, then yeah, this offensive line could be really bad. If Cody Ford's out there and then you're playing Volson and Fairchild, I don't know. Is Rivers looked good? I'm trying to put a lot of stock in him. He was a 5th rounder though. Like that's not.
I mean, they've only had a couple padded practices. He's a 5th round rookie. It's not.
Can't like expect that much from him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's been great. He's got a lot to learn, like everybody else. I think they're just trying guys right now. They're trying to give everybody a shot, and it'll be, those guys will be big to learn in the preseason. Because like, let's go back to the Cordell Volson preseason year, something that Bengals fans can remember. He beats out Jackson Carman or whatever, and he's just so much. He looked the part at that point. He looked like someone who could come in and be okay, and he was doing the right things about the right stuff. Seemed to be able to hold it together. That's what it has to look like in the preseason for someone who's a day 3 offensive lineman to sniff anything.
Yeah.
And those guys, it happens across the league. Those guys end up having to play every year. Teams put them out there and they sink or swim. But the preseason is going to be really important to see how concerning it would be if an injury happened. But we saw they got by with Cody Ford last year. They got sort of by with Devin Cochran in some games, but it's a concern.
Yeah, it doesn't leave you feeling great right now with how good the rest of that offense is. But we made it, almost 40 minutes into this episode without getting dark. Like the vibes have been great in camp on the show. And then we got to the line, and that is kind of the downer. So we'll try and steer things back a little bit here. We did get a couple nice emails about useless fossil info after our fossil talk a few weeks ago. Okay. Somebody it seemed to be like he was insinuating that you can go to Canada and steal fossils. So that's kind of fun. It's a cheap way to get some fossils. And then we had another Growl Pal who said that her daughter found one at Big Bone Lick State Park, and they put it on display at the park for a long time. So that's also another cool little fossil tidbit. Maybe we consider this at some point in the season to do a Graders Worthy fossil collection drive. Like whoever can produce the best fossil for us to display at our live shows, gets a greater shipper pack. Go steal something for us.
Yeah. Oh, I would definitely put it on the shelf. That'd be shelf worthy. I would put it. We get one behind you, one behind me for the top 2 fossils that you guys find for us. I mean, they've got to be able to be seen in the background, so we need some size.
Yeah, maybe that's like something we do for like Who Dey Nights when we do those live ones. And like I have a piece, you have a few pieces, Jay's got a few, Charlie, and then when you can assemble the entire dinosaur or whatever the fossil's from, that's how we all come together with that. That would be a fun little Easter egg for people.
I had no idea that Canada had more lax fossil rules or laws. I didn't know that you could just go to Canada and it's a little easier.
Well, I don't know that it is. It could just be that he's lying to us to try and get us arrested by the Canadian government. It could just be a setup. This whole thing could be a sting where we go there for cheap to steal some dinosaur fossils and then they arrest you. The Mounties will just take you in. I'm not ruling that out.
Okay. My folks are going to Canada pretty soon. I'll have them stop by the fossil
Tell them to get some
park and
fossils.
come back with some for us. Yeah.
Bring a dinosaur back. Good. Our next question, longtime pod listener, first time question asker, which we like. First, wanted to say, as a resident of Southern California, after being born and raised in Claremont County. Now that's a backstory I need right there, because there's not a lot of Claremont County people that are moving to Southern California. I would like to hear what took him out there. But he says, I'll always look forward to the training camp coverage you guys provide every year. Come out to a few training camp practices over the year when he's able to travel, but haven't been able to go recently. So this keeps him informed. His question, over the last few years, we've seen a ton of changes to the team as a whole, upgrades to the facility, changes to how they structure contracts, a total overhaul of their social media and PR strategies. Of all the changes they've made over the last decade, what do you think has been the most impactful to the team in terms of reputation?
You know, I think reputation with who would be my, you know, the reputation with fans. I mean, I think it's been a lot of probably the social media and PR strategies probably have connected with them and made them feel a little bit more in touch with the team a little bit and help them feel younger and cooler, which, you know, Burrow and Chase help that. But I think in general, I think those that see some of the changes in contracts and think that they're pretty impactful and not as I don't know. I say that knowing that they're in the middle of a fight right now with them, but like, you know, they have for the right people changed some of the ways that they do business with guarantees and understood some of that. They still have a long way to go. So I think it all kind of plays together. And I know that's a soft out, but it probably depends on who you're talking about that's viewing the reputation. I do think people notice some of the ways that they have changed things for Burrow and for Chase. And they're, you know, once they get Hendrickson done, you'll look back and say they checked every box that Burrow talked about. And I think that will be noticed, because that is everything that it was said that they wouldn't do. You know, they wouldn't do those things. They wouldn't go that extra mile to sign the people, to listen to the quarterback, give him what he wants. The old Carson Palmer, timeline stuff that we talked about. But if he asked for all these things, and once they finish off Hendrickson, they gave all those things, that helps your reputation in a lot of ways. Even if it, that's the shame of the Shamar Stewart thing. There was so much negativity and negative press, and it like takes away from the fact of a lot of the things that they were trying to pay people for, and brought back all the stereotypes.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, but it brings all that back while they're having an off season where they're doing everything that sort of was laid out for them.
Not only laid out, but a lot of the national media types said couldn't be done. When Joe Burrow threw that out there, they're like, yeah, well, they're not getting T and Jamar. Good luck, Joe. You better demand a trade to a bigger franchise or something like that. And they're going to move right down that whole checklist, even to Mike G, who was such a surprise in that conversation anyway. And they even took care of that for Joe. That does make an impact. He also had a bonus question for me. He said, have you ever met Dave Smith, and is he a chill dude? I have met Dave Smith. Very funny guy. I know a lot of people are aware of Dave now because he's getting more into that political space. But I will say this for the guy, very thoughtful, and puts a lot of thought into all of his stuff that he does out there, whether I agree with him on all of that stuff or not. But yeah, I met him at Skankfest. He is a very chill dude. And he also says, shout out Jay for consistently having interesting stats, and then RIP Ozzy. That little downer at the end of that. Are you ready for a quick ambush question?
Sure.
All right. This is from Steven. He says, we haven't gotten a single update on the long snapper competition in the camp recap episodes. Paul, are you serious?
Oh, yeah. I deserve this. Yeah, I deserve this. I have not. Well, I will say there hasn't been any bad snaps of note. But again, the detail is so minute that you would hardly even know. And Evan has been really good. I believe 28 of 30. He missed from 62 yesterday to try to close out practice narrowly, wide right. But Evan's been really good. So, but there has been a mix of Will Wagner and Cal Adamitis. The one interesting thing about that is that, Robbins and Kevin Huber were so good as holders. One of the things that they were able to do is when they would catch it, if it came in where it wasn't where you go right down with the laces out, they would be able to put it down and spin it the other way as they put it down. It's kind of the next level in holding, right?
Wow.
But Ryan Rico isn't as good at that. He's a punter. He's not as experienced as a holder as maybe those guys were. And so it puts extra emphasis on the snapper having to snap it so that when Rico catches it, the laces are out on contact. So controlling the spin so that it always lands in the hands with the laces out, which I thought was a really interesting detail of how hard that is to do that, and why there's probably two snappers here right now, because it has to be that exact, because Rico's so good as a punter, you can't not have him, and he gets all the reps during practice. Because there used to be sometimes you'd have a backup quarterback would be the one to do that, but that's kind of over now because it's just about time on task, and those guys have so much time together to practice that you want the person that can get the most practice in. But it's got to be perfect. And so I don't have any info other than they're going back and forth right now, and Evan's making his kicks. But that's how minute the details are in that competition right now.
What I like about Wagner is when I saw him at camp, like the guy just seems thrilled to be there. Like he was the first one over to sign autographs and stuff. And it's, like that's a fun role to be in. You're like battling for the long snapper position, but you're like, yeah, everybody wants my autograph. I'm going to sign for every kid here and get them fired up for camp. That was fun to see.
You know what specialists have that no one else does?
What's
so
that?
much time. So much time. They've got nothing but time. Autographs. Let's go. Talk conversations, hanging out, talking to fans. Like they got time.
He'll record your voicemail greeting. He's got plenty of time for all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
All right. This week's Growl Pal Spotlight. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what we do with these, it's like normally we like to give a little shout out to like a small business owner or somebody that's doing like a charity golf outing or has some sort of cause that they want to promote to the Growl Pal community. This week's a little bit different. This is from Brian. He's a longtime listener to the pod. He has an unusual submission. He needs help for his adult wiffle ball league to find land to purchase to use as our field. We are the Westwood Wiffleball Federation, and we are a bunch of middle-aged guys and gals who get together once a week to play wiffle ball and relax in Westwood. We are seeking a 1-acre lot that is grass, relatively flat, has street parking or some kind of parking option for up to 30 cars, and is within 15 miles of downtown. Finding this specific lot of land is a bit of a needle in a haystack search, so he wanted to throw it out to the Growl Pal community to develop some leads. I know our guy Sztanyo is a realtor, but I think we need some success from a word of mouth approach here. He says, I know it's a Hail Mary pass, but I figured what the hell? And you guys are absolutely invited to come drink a beer with us and play some wiffle ball on a Monday night. I guess that's if they find somewhere to play. So that's going to be key. I like the invite to go drink beer and play wiffle ball, but we can't be playing in the streets. So if you know of a good spot for this Growl Pal Wiffle Ball League to relocate to and purchase, I guess send us an email to the growlerpodcast@gmail.com. We can send you to Brian that way. Do you have any good leads?
I don't know that I have any good leads necessarily. I would say we need to reach out. We need to get Sztanyo involved in this. I feel like he knows where the land is, where to go. But I love that there's a Westwood Wiffleball Federation, the WWF. I'm in. I'm in for this. Like I'm definitely here to come drink beer. I don't know how much running I'm gonna do, but I could probably execute a game, or at the very least hang out and drink and have a good time. I'm in. You can
execute the beer part. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get if we can organize the Growl Pals finding some land for the WWF here, then I think I would be happy to come take in a contest. Maybe I could DH. I'd be down for that.
I think if a Growl Pal finds this land, that we should do just a Growl Pal night and have all the people that are listening to this within a certain area come out and we play just a little Growl Pal tournament one night and take over their league for the day. That would be a fun little thing, you know, a good incentive to go find some space for this.
Maybe like neighborhoods could come and play against each other. So it'd be like the Oakleys versus the Westwoods, or the Norwoods versus Norwood versus Hyde Park. Like we can get a little rivalry going. I could that could be good.
What about the Growl Pals against the Power Stackers? You know, get some inner podcast rivalries going.
Wow, you bring in the baseball people. Now, are baseball listeners more likely to be good at baseball, or are they more likely to be like they just like to watch it because they're living vicariously through watching the rest? I don't know.
They're not good.
The different demographics in the Growler and the Power Stacks listeners.
I could tell you
pit
if you
them
want.
against each other.
I mean, I can give you the breakdown. Sure. Yeah. So the Growl Pals are definitely way more athletic, way more handsome. The Power Stacks people, I like them. They're very nice people. The people that listen to both podcasts are obviously the best. So that's where they're going to get a lot of their talent for their team. But yeah, I mean, clearly the Growl Pals are a much higher class of person all around than any other person. And I'm not just pandering to the people listening to this show right now. You ready for our weird story of the week?
Yes. Yeah. Let's do the weird story of the week.
You found this one, and I just learned about it today, which was exciting to me.
I did find this one. So the story is that Michael Phelps is apparently going to help the Ravens players, a bunch of them, learn how to swim. And so I guess Marlon Humphrey posted a video, and he requested that Phelps is, I guess it was him and Ronnie Stanley and Kyle Hamilton and tight end Charlie Kohler were inside their recovery pool, inside whatever their facility is. And they said, "Hey, Mr. Phelps, we have a problem. Did you know that 1 in 3 Ravens cannot swim? We have a solution for you, sir. Come to Ravens Training Camp and this beautiful aquatic center and teach us how to swim." Phelps chimed in and said, "I got y'all. Let's do it." And I just was thinking, like, is Michael Phelps the best person to teach them how to swim? He's too good, right? Like, there's got to be a patience level that you have with teaching someone how to swim. Michael Phelps is out here, like, I feel like he would get frustrated really quickly with an athlete who has no clue what to do in the water. Like, you need a grandma who has taught like 1,000 kids how to swim to go in there and keep everybody calm and teach them how to do it. Michael Phelps doesn't have the patience for this.
No,
it's like, look, my kid's having trouble. He doesn't want to eat a hot dog. Here's Joey Chestnut, right?
Yeah.
He's just going to show you how to. No, you're not going to be able to do it like this, nor should you. Okay, and I don't know that he's a teacher, so I don't know. It's a weird story. I hope it works. I just don't know that the success rate is going to be very high.
Yeah, you can't start with the ropes course. You got to go at the beginner level with this. And, you know, like you're trying to learn how to play golf. Tiger Woods isn't going to have that patience to watch you hack it up at the local municipal course. Like, that's not, he's going to be in his car driving to a local Perkins faster than you can even get through a few swings. Like, he doesn't have that patience either. It is dangerous, though, that they have this pool and a third of the team can't swim. Like, they're going to need at least a lifeguard on duty at that thing, so we don't have any like tragedies during camp and stuff like that. That's not a great situation to have something when they can't even swim.
Yeah, that'd be a tough break during a season. Yeah.
That's a real tough lifeguard situation too. You can't have a teenager go in there and pull a 300-pound guy out of the deep end. That's not going to happen.
I hope there will be video of whatever this training looks like, and I have a feeling that it ends with Michael Phelps storming off in frustration.
Yes, just giving up. I don't know. What's the Cincy version of this? Like, we need like some sort of famous celebrity that'll teach our guys something. Like, maybe Nick Lachey can teach the Bengals what the 1990s were like, since they're all so young.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe that's it. They don't know what a boy band is or how to do what boy bands do.
whatever it was that they did.
Whatever it was that 98 Degrees did that people liked, could teach them how to like do choreographed dance moves and sing softly.
That would be good for
maybe
some
that's what it
TikTokers.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. TikTok has kind of taken that.
Yeah, it sure has. But it would get our TikTok game up a little bit. You see that a lot more among college athletes now when they're doing like a lot of dances at the media day. I don't quite get it, but I'm glad for them if they're having fun with it. That's what's important. What a lot of people have fun with is their fantasy football punishments. And we still need to pick the best one of those. We got a couple submissions, still looking for a lot more. So whatever you're using that's a creative fantasy football punishment, send that to the growlerpodcast@gmail.com. I
did see at the Holy Grail. Did I tell the Holy Grail story yet about when I saw these? It was a group of 4 dudes sitting there, and I can't remember if I said this on the podcast or not. I'm to say it again regardless. There were 4 guys kind of sitting there, and one of them was in all pink with a pink tutu.
Oh,
and I just sort of walked up. I wanted to. I didn't. I really did want to go up and say, who was your first round pick last? What happened here?
Who's to blame for this?
Before a Reds game, he was in all pink with the tutu with his 3 buddies. They were just casually eating sandwiches and having beers. And it was very clear what was happening here. I appreciated seeing that out. But keep sending yours in. We've gotten some. I think there's potential. There's potential for a winner out there still. Send us your punishments.
Quick stand-up comedy plugs from me before we move on to the end of this show. I'm going to be at the Norwood Comedy Festival tomorrow, Saturday, August 2nd. I think I'm on at like 6:30, something like that. But that's going to be a really fun event if you live in the Cincy area. And August 7th, I'll be in Louisville. August 10th, Indianapolis. And August 23rd, Fort Wayne. So that's what's coming up. And then September 5th, Commonwealth Comedy Club in the Cincy area. And my weekend at Go Bananas is on sale now. Those tickets just went on sale October 9th through 12th. Those will be some huge shows if you live in Cincy, and you can get all those tour dates on my website.
Always love Go Bananas. It's just such a great place.
Great fun.
Where's the Norwood Fest?
It's by Northwood Cider Company. It's right outside of their area, I guess. So
okay.
They're kind of the home base for that, and it's going to be out on the street area. So it's a good, nice, chill environment for stand-up comedy in a park, basically. So it kind of fills the void that was left by Brew Ha-Ha for so many years down at Sawyer Point. It's like a much smaller version of that. It's a much more local, shrunken down version of just one stage instead of like 4 or 5 stages of comedy and over 3 days. So it's just a one-day event, but it's very cool. So go check it out at any time.
What do we got to do to bring Brew Ha-Ha back? I love Brew Ha-Ha. It was so great.
Such a fun event.
When you would go over and you'd go get some food and you get a drink, and then you just sneak into like a tunnel stage, and there'd be somebody in there just, and then like not even on the main stages, but just all these cool little spots that there were stages of people doing stuff. And it was just great. Like, it was such a fun environment. I went every year they had it. I don't even know how many there were. I would always go. I loved it. It was just so much fun. It was such a cool event. They would get big, there were big names that were headlining it too. I remember one year I was there. Sklar Brothers, I think, headlined it one year.
Yep.
Chad Daniels, I remember seeing him there.
Chad Daniels was always the tunnel stage guy. That was the key, is the tunnel stage would get like the really good comics.
Yeah.
And then the main stage would get whoever the city wanted to be like the bigger draw about, all right, here's your Michael Ian Black. And it's like, he's fine, whatever. But Chad Daniels in the tunnel stage, that's where you wanted to be. That's where the good
it was cool.
Was.
Yeah, I loved that. You could just walk around, just sit down, and next thing you know, some great comic is there next to the Cincinnati statue. Which is great.
It was a good event for stand-up. Like usually outdoor comedy stinks, right? And I used to bring friends from New York to do this festival and stuff, and they loved it because there were so many people there. And you don't always get that for a comedy festival. It's usually like they're indoors. It's just kind of like a couple big shows. But this was like a huge event, and people actually liked being a part of it, which is very rare for outdoor comedy. But you know what? The Norwood Comedy Festival is trying to recreate a little bit of that magic. So go hang out there this weekend.
Is it, how when you go to a concert, you're not supposed to wear the band, like the concert T-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
If I showed up wearing my Norwood Lateral shirt, would that be a problem? Or the new Norwood Lateral shirt, would that be a problem? Is that like, look, a little too close?
I feel like you'd be hailed as a hero. They'd be like, wow,
Yeah.
this is
I mean, I'm just trying to
revolutionary. I
spread
like
the
this.
message.
Yeah.
I'm showing that I'm a believer.
Yep.
You know?
I think that you would probably, people would be buying you drinks all night is what would happen, is you would just, you'd be hammered. Oh, you could go at 2 p.m. and you'd be getting drinks for free from all your adoring fans. Probably some Growl Pals out there too.
Sure.
It would be a real mess. And I know you probably have to
so.
work that night. So that
I do. Well, Saturday,
that's right.
That's Saturday, right? Yeah, that's the night practice.
So yeah, you'd be in a bad shape for that.
Yeah. All right. What do we got? Dad lifetime?
Yes.
What do you got going?
So, all right, I've been trying to, this is hard because the kids are home for the summer, right? And so I've been trying to like work out more, and because I dropped the gym membership and just started jogging. And then I also started Arnold Schwarzenegger's workout program, which is something that they should pay me not to say probably out loud. But what I love about that is it just like the app will give you all these little hints and tricks to add to your workout. It'll say, oh, you want to go for a jog? How about first you throw some dumbbells in a backpack? It's like, I don't have either of those things. I don't even have a backpack. I can put sand in a Kroger bag. That's about as good as I can do at this point, you know? And they'll add tips like, oh, add a walk to your morning routine. Our morning routine is just chaos. That's all it is. We all sleep too late. We recreate the scene from Home Alone where the clocks went out and it's just kids running around crying, trying to get dressed, fed, and out the door. And now in the middle of this, I'm supposed to just walk out on my family. Yes. I don't think that's going to go well. Just mixing in that walk into my morning routine where I'm like, I'm doing self-care. You guys handle this. Get off to school. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you got to take time for you.
Yeah,
it doesn't
right
matter.
In the middle of it.
Doesn't matter what's left behind. It's about you time, and you've got to show. You parent by example, right? You've got to show that no matter how chaotic your life, you've got to always prioritize yourself. And
That's
just
right.
Walk out on your family sometimes.
You got to put the mask on yourself before you put it on the person next to you. That's what I've learned from airplanes. So
that's it.
That's what I'm trying to navigate at this point. What's going on in your world?
We have one less kid this week. Nothing bad happened. It's actually very good.
One of them got a job somewhere working on another.
No, there wasn't like another animal that attacked a child or anything like that. No, it was so it was our first sleepaway camp. So like going to Camp Ernst. So shout out Camp Ernst in Kentucky, which has been awesome. But my oldest is at her first time away at camp, where she's there for a week, and they have all they post photo. Their Instagram is like packed, and everyone is, especially for us, our first time with a kid truly away, just zooming into the background as creepy as you can be in every single post, just searching. At one point, my wife thought she spotted her water bottle, didn't see her, but thought she spotted her water bottle somewhere and was zooming in to see if it was. But you end up doing that because there's no communication outside of letters. You can send little an email a day, and at 10 o'clock they deliver the mail for that day to the kids in their cabins so they can see whatever you sent. But there's only so much letter. It's not like you're not getting 100 letters. It's like one at a time. So it's very rationed out. Well, at some point they're allowed to write a letter, back to us. So we got our mail from our daughter yesterday, and it was very sweet. There were 2 letters. One of them to my wife and I, and it was, the camp is the best ever. I'm having so much fun, and can't wait to tell you about it, all that stuff, yada yada. The one that her younger sister got, that my youngest daughter got, didn't have the same tone. It was Rose, look, you have not sent me mail yet. And I have not seen mail, and you need to send me mail. And I mean it. Seriously. Why have you not sent me anything yet? Sincerely, that's awesome. Mabel.
That's
right?
it.
That is. It was like, I need to take this time to yell at you because I haven't had time to do it all week.
That's
just
awesome.
The ultimate big sister. Like that one might end up getting framed somewhere. I'm not going to lie.
I like that. Even long distance, you kind of keep the sibling rivalry stoked. It's not
keep her in her place.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
and my youngest daughter
up here.
Yeah, my youngest daughter is just so happy-go-lucky. She didn't even care. She thought it was great. She's like, yeah, this is great. This is so fun. And she did write her actually a very nice letter. She probably hasn't gotten it yet, but when she wrote that, put some jokes in there Try to
She should have
lighten her
thrown
day-
some
lighten her
snark
day.
back at her. Just get this like
No,
squabble
she's not like
going
that.
across state lines. Yeah.
She's the younger sister that just happily takes it and goes about her life and is just fine.
Yeah.
good.
Well, I think we know that she's not phased by much. I think that's what we've learned. So
Yeah.
I don't know that one letter's going to rattle her
No
after
question.
the life that she's led to this point.
No question. All right, we more camp recaps coming your way. Charlie's in the camp recap seat with me tomorrow night. Jay's got a fun party going on at his house for his daughter, and so that's going to be going on there. But we're looking forward to that, and then we will have our shows next week. PD and J. Then the first preseason game is Thursday, so you'll be getting your first walkout of the season, official game walkout of the season, coming on Thursday. Less than a week.
Let's go.
Actual, real Bengals games to talk about. Looking forward to that. Thanks to everybody for listening. If you have any more questions or anything at all, send it in to the Growler Podcast at gmail.com. We're always going through that. Keep them coming, and we'll keep answering them as we can. And keep listening and subscribing to all the spots, and we'll keep giving you the stuff. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.